A few weeks ago, a GameStop was caught canceling pre-orders from customers and selling them to their employees. Well, the regional manager of that GameStop has reached out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce 2. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. Hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. A few weeks ago, a video surfaced of a guy going into a GameStop to pick up his pre-orders, and the GameStop had previously told him, hey, we do not have enough to fulfill your pre-orders, yet he walks in and the GameStop manager is selling Prismatic Evolutions to his employees as he walks in, making it really look like they canceled his pre-orders so that his employees could buy some. This was a crazy video. If you guys want to check out the full video, I'll link it down in the description below for full context. But we have some updates because the regional manager of that GameStop has reached out, and there was a lot of rumors that I was seeing online in various places saying that the general manager of that GameStop had been fired or reprimanded because what he did was not appropriate. So we're going to get into all of that. And the reason I want to do this is because so many people were commenting on that video that you shouldn't be able to pre-order 10, that the GameStop was right, that the customer was wrong. And the reality is the customer was right. The limit of 2 pre-orders was changed after all of these pre-orders were put in place. And we're going to see right here where the gentleman in the original video reached out to GameStop and basically says, hey, I pre-ordered Prismatic Evolution surprise boxes. Am I guaranteed the full quantity of my orders? I paid the deposit and I hope my order is fulfilled. And then we see his response from GameStop saying, we're excited for you to get the items you're waiting on. If you want, you can reach out to the store the day before on release and so that they will be notified. However, as long as you have your details of transaction, you don't have to worry about a thing. Basically, GameStop customer service is telling him, hey, as long as you have your details of pre-orders, you're going to get everything. And he did reach out the day before, and that's when they told him, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I know you pre-ordered 10, but you're only going to get 2. Now, there's been some other conversations I've had face-to-face with GameStop employees, and what I'm hearing is that the amount of items a GameStop gets is predicated upon the amount of pre-orders they sell. If a GameStop sells an X amount of pre-orders of something, that they're going to get 1.5 that amount of items. So if this guy went into this GameStop and pre-ordered 10 Prismatic Evolution surprise boxes, and then the GameStop receives 16, well, 1.5 of 10 would be 15, so 16 being the amount that they got, and he pre-ordered 10, it really does seem like that's pretty close and pretty accurate. So I've had a line of communication open with this gentleman who wants to remain anonymous, and we have some updates. The regional manager of that GameStop actually reached out to him, which is really interesting. He says, a win for the collectors, though, no matter what. The GameStop regional manager called me and made it right. I said, interesting, keep me posted. They must have seen that video. He said they acted fast. The regional manager saw the video yesterday and called me immediately, and we discussed it. He said the regional manager I spoke to was really nice. He basically will get me what he can in terms of Prismatic and 151, essentially to help replace the pre-orders that were taken from him, not for free. He's going to have to pay for them, but the regional manager is going to work to fulfill the pre-orders that he rightfully placed and is obligated to get. I said, does anyone get reprimanded for the actions of the manager? They say anything about whether or not he did anything against policy. Goes, no idea what took place with the manager, but I'm told it will be handled. That's it. The regional manager agreed that what he did was not acceptable and what he did should not have applied to pre-orders. Boom, right there. The regional manager of that GameStop saying what that manager did should not have applied to pre-orders. And what that manager did was say that because the limit is 2 per person, which is good and accurate at GameStop, now the limit is 2 per person. Because that limit is 2 per person, the manager said, you're not allowed to get all 10 of the pre-orders that you ordered because the limit is 2 per person. But the problem with that is that limit of 2 per person applies to in-store purchases. That doesn't apply to pre-orders at the time that he placed the pre-orders. It really does look like that this manager used this loophole to say, ooh, I can do this to make sure my employees are able to get some of this product. Well, there is no confirmation if this manager got fired or not. I hate to say that he deserves to be fired. I don't know that. If this is a single isolated incident, then I don't believe that the manager deserves to be fired. The manager should be reprimanded accordingly and hopefully improve and not do that in the future. If the regional manager does some internal investigations and realizes that store manager, this is not an isolated incident, that maybe the other things like this had happened in the past, then maybe he should be fired. But I leave that up to the regional manager and them to decide, because I'm not the regional manager of GameStop and it's not my place to say if somebody should be fired. Now, to that effect, we did have a couple GameStop employees comment on that video with some really interesting perspectives. We have a GameStop employee right here that says that manager needs to be fired ASAP. While you're allowed first dibs on product as a perk of working at GameStop, you cannot set dibs or set aside items that were pre-ordered or are part of an online order, which is exactly what this happened in this situation. They took the guy's pre-orders to sell to employees. I've had my fair share of shady managers trying to get me to do stuff like this or shrink out product, basically make product available for other people, so it doesn't appear in the system until they want to buy it, and it's completely unacceptable behavior from someone who gets paid significantly more than I do. One of my coworkers from another store gave in and shrunk some Prismatic ETBs out for said manager who is on medical leave, and when my manager who babysits the other store checked the inventory and saw multiple movements for Prismatic Evolution's product, my coworker got written up, as she should have, but nothing was done about the manager who actually coerced her to do it in the first place. Really crazy testimony. There's a couple other stories like that on the video too. You can go read that full thing or go scroll through the video, original video that I'll put in the description if you want to check out all of those accounts. But what it really looks like here, and the clarity that I want to provide, is so many people on that original video were saying that GameStop was right. GameStop was right to cancel that guy's pre-orders and to allocate them to other people. And while I am one for product limits, I am also one for following the rules. And if the rules say you were allowed to pre-order 10, and he was allowed to pre-order 10, customer service said he should get his entire pre-order, and he had the receipt to show that he pre-ordered 10, like I showed that receipt in the first video, then he should have got all 10. And with other people saying that what that manager did was a direct violation of policy and was actually indeed wrong, I am encouraged that the regional manager is trying to make it right for this customer, that this isn't supposed to be the norm. Now, the sad thing is, if you talk to anybody about GameStop or you look in the comment section of that original video, people are like, yeah, my GameStop does this. So many accounts in that original video, people saying, yep, my GameStop's done this to me. My GameStop has done this to people all the time. My GameStop's shady. My GameStop employees are shady. And it's really sad because does anybody remember when GameStop used to be Funko Land? Funko Land was the name before GameStop bought it or EB Games bought it, whoever bought it and turned it into GameStop. Funko Land used to be a magical place when you were a kid and you could go test out video games and have fun before you bought it and decide, oh, I do want to buy this video game. And now we got GameStop, and it just seems like GameStop isn't what it used to be and isn't what it's supposed to be. And it's just really sad. And if you got any opinions, drop it down in the comments below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It's free for you to do that, and it really does help the video a whole lot. And YouTube says you'll like that one next, so go check it out. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.